Morning, Your Honor.
Have you sent in your recommendations yet?
About 90 seconds ago, Your Honor. Fairly healthy sized docket. We moved as quickly as we could.
Interpreter Pedro Davis. There's one in custody female, the number 17 of 32. I'll be standing by.
Thank you so much.
Hello?
Ma'am, we will be handling probably about 15 cases before we get to the one you're here for, so you can remain muted until then, and I will advise you when you can unmute. Thank you. Well, it looks like the recommendations are being held up in the,
I sent them here.
in the filter. Like, they're just taking a while. I'm assuming it's in the filter. So if we...
Let me resend them, Your Honor.
Oh, you know what? They just popped up for me just this second.
Thank you.
Did they pop up for you? All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are there any updates from the jail?
Judge, this is defense counsel. I'm not sure if there's updates from the jail.
Okay.
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. This is the jail. Mr. Arrieta in the house felonies. He will be unavailable for this morning's hearing.
Okay. Thank you.
But other than that, we are ready if the court's ready.
I'll just be approving it. We're ready. Good morning. Please state your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Velasquez.
Mr. Velasquez, this is the time set for your initial appearance on charges of aggravated robbery, armed robbery, unlawful possession of a firearm, and theft of an automobile. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you, and there is counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing. We're going to talk about your conditions of release. I have reviewed information provided about you by pretrial services. I have reviewed the interim complaint, and I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $50,000, and if that bond is posted, that you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, the defendant appeared to set up an ambush at a hotel where the defendant then shot the victim twice with a rifle and wounded him and then stole his property, including his vehicle. Notwithstanding his age, he is a clear danger to society. He has access to guns, which by itself in this case is absolutely illegal, as well as the fact that he shot somebody, which goes without saying. He could have killed them. And at this point, the state would peremptorily say that releasing to the custody of his parents is absolutely futile and not in the interest of clearly his parents couldn't keep this individual under control to begin with. $50 is the bond that would ensure the safety of society.
Defense, you're not on mute if you thought you were.
Oh, Your Honor, if it's my turn, I'd like to request to see the interim complaint. I don't have access to any of the interim complaints for this morning.
I'm sent there. They are. I'll send them to you directly, Iskra.
I do not see them on the share site, Neil.
I just sent them to you directly.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize, Judge, if I could just have a moment.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you so much. If you're ready and speaking to us, now you are muted.
Okay, Judge, I apologize. Just a minute because this, I believe, I just need a minute with the client.
Oh yeah, it looked like you were talking to us, so I was just checking. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, for the time. I apologize again. I would like the court to consider, obviously, the defendant's age. There were other adults involved. In addition, upon careful reading of interim complaint, I'm not entirely certain at this point that it was Anthony who actually did the shooting. That still does not diminish, obviously, the seriousness of what happened. However, I would like the court to take that into account. It does not seem clear to me where the identification seems firm as to the perpetrator of the shooting itself. All that said, I would also like the court to consider that Anthony did talk to the police. He identified other involved individuals. So please take his cooperation into consideration. He's a lifelong Tucson resident. He is a full-time student, has no criminal or juvenile history. And I believe that he's very much in shock from all of this. I'm requesting the court to consider a release with very strict conditions of release, and I have no reason to think that he will not comply.
Your Honor, I would disagree respectfully with defense and say the interim complaint refers specifically to this defendant. And in it, it says the defendant shot the victim 2 times. It only refers to that defendant.
Thank you.
Okay. So,
Mr. Velasquez,
yes, ma'am.
I don't want to hold a 16-year-old in jail, but the level of planning involved in this offense and the fact that the victim was shot, that the gun was fired twice, I am going to impose a bond. I'm going to impose a bond of $25,000. That'll be cash or secured. If you are able to post that bond and be released, you'll be released to pretrial services. You will be required to submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You'll be ordered to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, to possess no firearms or weapons. If there are any firearms or weapons, they must be surrendered to local law enforcement. Should have no contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the incident location. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 17th at 1:30. It's possible that court date will change, so you'll want to keep in touch with your attorney from the public defender's office about that. If you were to fail to appear for any future court dates, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're excused for today.
Your Honor, what was the bond cycle listed on his paperwork?
Oh, $25,000?
Thank you.
He would shoot the gun. Was it being discussed? It would be the same bond if you just want it out. Okay, same. On that. They're problematic. But as I'm sure over, told your family, told your attorney this kid change. Okay, you could bond out as $10,000 or something on emotion. You can visit this, okay? I think this is very. That's good. That's everything. Today is not a trial. Nobody's deciding. It's just a decision on how you're going to be helped. And for now, just all right. Now, I'm attorney, talk to your attorney. Do not discuss what happens with anybody on the phone. It would
Anybody except your attorney. Do not talk about what happened. Okay? Not to the police, not to other inmates, not to officers here, not on the phone. Everything is reported.
pushes.
Do not talk about what happened. Only to your attorney. Okay. Take care.
So,
Good morning. Please state your name.
Name's Fred Andrews.
Mr. Andrews, this is the time for your initial appearance on, it looks like you were picked up on a warrant from out of county.
Maricopa County.
Yep, that's correct. And what we're going to do here today is we're going to set a review hearing to see if you are still here in Pima County Jail or if you have been released to Maricopa. That review hearing is going to be April 7th at 9 a.m. I'm assuming there may be some other thing keeping you here, but if not, then you should be county long before the next hearing. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yep.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Good morning. Please state your name.
This is Brian Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, you are here on your initial appearance. You are also currently this morning being seen on charges from out of county. It looks like they're also from Maricopa County, and that there may be something else holding you in Pima County that's not before me today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a review hearing for April 7th at 9 a.m. to see if you are still here or if you have been released to Maricopa County. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused for today. If you need to ask a question, you can do so.
Thank you. Extended past.
Or, Judge, he's wondering if the court date could be extended past May. For the review hearing, it appears that he is being held here on something else until then anyway.
Yes. Is May 30th good?
Thank you.
All right.
He said perfect.
We'll reset that review hearing for May 30th.
Your Honor. Thank you.
What was his bond?
45,000.
25,000. Okay. Well, I'm sorry I had to pay for it. It's new school.
Please state
Good morning. My name is Lawrence Ibarra Jr., date of birth 10/25/92.
Thank you. Mr. Ibarra, this is the time set for your initial, well, for a review hearing, actually, I think. Oh, okay, sorry. Let me see. Yes. For a review hearing, it looks like you have an out-of-county warrant, also from Maricopa County, but you are being held here on another matter. So I would just be setting another review hearing to see if you're still here or if you have been released to Maricopa County, and I would be setting that for April 7th at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
Yes, I got sentenced yesterday for 2.5 years in prison.
Okay. Does that change?
Do I just go to prison and then you guys I'll get PhD from over there, maybe?
That's what we think. We're just verifying that before I put in, before I tell you, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, once it goes to GNC, they'll take care of it. We'll still send it out a month and then.
Okay. So yes, sir, that is what should happen. You should be transferred to DOC, and then Maricopa County can request you from there. I'm gonna still put the review hearing on here just to make sure.
Okay.
If you're no longer in the Pima County Jail, then you won't be required to appear for that hearing. We'll just kind of close it out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Have a blessed day.
Your Honor, this is the jail. Luis, and I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Yofo Pico. He is unavailable to come down to court today.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 family members sitting in court to support him today. I don't know if he might be able to come down later or if that's not a possibility.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Not at this time.
All right, so I will continue his hearing to tonight's initial appearance session.
Do you mind?
Thank you. So, Mr. Yoko Oficio being unavailable, we will continue his initial appearance to the 7 p.m. calendar. Oh, sorry about that. Good morning. Please state your name.
Stacy Hobbs.
Ms. Hobbs, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. The disorderly conduct is a domestic violence offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. And in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed to represent you. Just take a quick look here. I don't think I had. There you are. When I was preparing earlier, your pretrial services information wasn't in here yet, so I'm just taking a quick look at that. All right. Ms. Hobbs, if I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear at future court dates, would you appear at future court dates?
Yes, ma'am.
And additional conditions would be that you have no contact with your sister and do not return to her residence or workplace. Would that be something you could abide by?
Yes.
All right. So I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear at future court dates. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's at 8:30 in the morning at Pima County Justice Court before Judge Foster.
Okay.
Additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the alleged victim, and do not return to their residence or workplace. If you fail, If you fail to appear for future court dates, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You are excused for today.
Okay.
Moreno.
Hello.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Saul Gallegos Moreno.
Mr. Marino, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of, domestic violence assault. And it looks like you also have a failure to appear for a Tucson City Court criminal damage to property case. That was on warrant status. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney will be appointed to represent you. If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear at future court dates and that you could not return to your father's home, would you have somewhere to go, and would you be able to appear for your future court dates?
Yes, I would be able to appear to my future court dates. I was in a hospital for mental health when I was supposed to go to those court dates, so I never got to go to those.
Okay. And if you need help finding somewhere to go, when you are released from the jail, there is a trailer right outside. It's called the Transition Center, and they can help you with resources on finding places to go, okay? So I am going to order on your new domestic violence charges that you be released on your promise to appear at future court dates. The additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, that you have no contact with the alleged victim and do not return to the home. You may return one time with a law enforcement escort to pick up your belongings if you have belongings in your father's home. You'll do that by taking my order to the closest police station to the home, and then they will escort you there to pick up the things you need, okay? I'm also ordering that you abide by any previously set conditions of release. In the new domestic violence charge out of Pima County Justice Court, your next court date is going to be March 17th at 8:30 in the morning before Judge Foster. If you fail to appear for that court date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then on the Tucson City Court,
I had just recently went in for the Tucson City Court one, and I'm gonna get that appealed because what is it called when you go to the for your warrant, and they take them off?
Quash warrants.
Yeah, I was gonna go to that on the 14th to take off some of my warrants.
so you filed a motion to quash.
Yeah.
All right, so I am
I believe so.
going to release you on your Tucson City Court charges as well. Your next court date is going to be April 7th at 2 p.m. That's before Judge Verena. And then the additional conditions are that you have no contact with the alleged victims, do not return to the incident locations, and abide by any previously ordered conditions of release.
I wonder if we resolve that with my dad, because my dad was the one that wanted to press charges.
It sounds like you are aware of this as it's already happened, but if you fail to appear on those cases, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yeah, I understand that. I was.
You need an attorney. Okay.
What does it mean to if you're so loud custody? Why as you can see,
Let's worry about that.
you have to show up to the hearings. Like, explain it to that church. Or see if it becomes 6 days. Just think of it in the community. Might be reduced cost.
Right. Everyone wasn't even a witness, but that's the one that got discharged. And he said she's sorry.
They can't go to church.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Alexis Valias.
Mr. Diaz, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. Those are domestic violence charges. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We're going to talk about your conditions of release. If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear for future court dates, would you appear for your next court date?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Additional conditions of release are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, that you have no contact of any kind with your sister and her son and do not return to their residence. Your next court date is going to be April 7th at 9 a.m. That's before Judge Hale at Tucson City Court. If you were to fail to appear for that court date, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Do I go outside or just? I think.
Oh.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning.
Ibarra. Or would you please state your name?
Ivan Ibarra.
Mr. Ibarra, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. This is also the time for your arraignment, so I'll let you know that I am going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf today. You are presumed to be innocent. If you fail to appear at future court dates, not only can a warrant issue for your arrest, but the hearings can go forward in your absence. That includes trial. And if you are convicted and then fail to appear for sentencing for at least 90 days, you can lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you. If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear at your next court date, sir, would you be able to appear at your next court date?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I am going to order that you're released on your promise to appear. Additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal substances. Your next court date is going to be April 7th at 2:30 in the afternoon before Judge Verna at Tucson City Court.
Awesome.
Your Honor, this is the jail, if I may.
Yes.
Is the court aware that he has a Superior Court hold for a probation violation?
You know what? Nope. I did not realize that because I was not looking at the right side of the sheet. So, Mr. Ibarra, I did note that you do have a Superior Court hold, so you will not be released today because of that other matter. That is not before me today.
Where do I get that?
I don't know. I don't have any of that information here in front of me this morning, but I would assume that you have a court date for that coming up.
There you go.
Like I said, I don't know, but you should. I'm not sure if the jail knows.
All right.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
Lyles?
Good morning. Please state your name.
Shavia Miles.
Ms. Lyles, this is the time set for your initial appearance. It looks like you were picked up on misdemeanor failure to appear charges, as well as a couple of new misdemeanor charges. They include domestic violence, drug paraphernalia, several charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, several charges of criminal trespass, making a false report to law enforcement. The new charges are unlawful possession of prescription drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney will be appointed on your behalf. And it does look like there is a Superior Court matter on which you are being held that is not in front of me today, so that no matter what I ordered in these cases, you would not be released. At this time, I am going to order, based on the number of cases and the length of time that they've been going on, which appears to be around 3 years, that you be held on a bond of $500. That'll be cash or secured. If you were to post that bond and your other matter was no longer holding you, the additional orders would be that you commit no acts of domestic violence, that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims, do not go to the victim's residence or incident locations, and abide by all previous conditions of release in these Tucson City Court cases. And the no contact orders start immediately. So, you know, even while you're in custody, you should not have any contact with the victims. Your next court date on these matters is going to be March 19th at 1:30. If you are in custody, that will be a video review. If you have been released, then you'll be responsible to go to Tucson City Court and appear for those hearings. If you do not appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused. Oh, I didn't appoint the public defender. Will you check that box for me? Thank you. Good morning. Please state your name.
ICEMAN show.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, this is the time set for your initial appearance and arraignment on charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. I will enter a plea of not guilty for you today. You are presumed to be innocent. If you fail to appear for future court hearings, a warrant can issue for your arrest. The hearings can also go forward in your absence. And if you are convicted and then fail to appear for sentencing for at least 90 days, you can lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear for, hold on, let me just see what else I have. Okay, yep. If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear for future court dates, would you appear for your future court date?
Yes, ma'am.
So I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is going to be April 4th at 9 a.m. That is before Judge Perena. Additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, that you have no contact of any kind with Nadra or Kintiara Demua, your mother and sister. And let me just... We were not able to talk to them, so we do not know how they feel about having contact with you. So that is something that could be changed if appropriate with a motion to modify. But until further of the order of the court, you cannot have contact with them or return to their residence or go to their workplace. I am consolidating this case with CM 25005018, CM 25005040, CM 2500-504, and CM 2500-6398, which are also being heard by Judge Verena. And I am vacating the hearing that was set for an order to show cause on March 26th at 9:30. So that hearing will not be happening. Your next hearing will be the April 4th hearing. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Priscilla?
Good morning. Please state your name.
Priscilla Castillo Techuela.
Ms. Joanna, this is the time set for your initial appearance on new charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence, and it looks like there was a warrant on a failure to appear on a previous charge of assault domestic violence from 2023. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. In certain circumstances, an attorney will be appointed to represent you. We're going to talk about your conditions of release. At this time, based on the failure to appear history, I am going to impose a bond of $250. That'll be cash or secured. If you were to post that bond and be released, additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, that you have no contact of any kind with Eric Tuchuena, that you do not return to his residence or the incident location. I am appointing the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you in these matters. And your next court date is going to be March 19th. That's at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's before Judge Million. If you fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today. Good morning. Please state your name.
Harry Van Thorson.
Great. Ms. Thorson, you are here for your initial appearance on charges of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. And find your... You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire the attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to talk about your conditions of release today. If I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear at future hearings, would you appear at your next hearing?
Yes.
Great. I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Additional orders are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the alleged victim, and do not go to their residence or workplace.
Okay. Yes.
And your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's at 10:30 in the morning. That's before Judge Foster for your arraignment. If you fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Your name?
Benjamin Cañas.
Mr. Cañas, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here on charges of armed robbery and kidnapping, possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, and burglary. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire the attorney of your choice. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and in considering your conditions of release, I have reviewed information provided about you by pretrial services. I have also reviewed the interim complaint and the state's request. The state is recommending that you be held on a bond of $75,000 and that if you post that bond, you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, it looks like pretrial updated their website with a DOC hold. That really doesn't change the equation for the state. He is a yes on the NVCA, and this is a fairly brutal crime, and he has priors for, well, here it is, armed robbery, kidnap, he served prison time, ag assault on a corrections officer, ×2. This person is incredibly dangerous. State moves for 75,000 plus PTS, notwithstanding the DOC hold.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, given the DOC hold, I agree that a bond makes sense here. I'd like the court to consider that the incidents all involve the display of a firearm rather than something more serious, and that he's a lifelong resident of Arizona.
Thank you. I am going to impose a bond of $75,000, cash or secured. If you happen to be released, you'll be released to pretrial services. You'll submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Possess no firearms or weapons, sir. If there are any firearms in your possession, you must surrender them to local law enforcement. Have no contact with the alleged victims. Do not return to the incident locations. And I did, before the DOC hold was in place, I did have the order to contact your assigned parole officer on the first working day following release from custody. That may not be necessary, depending on how things go in your underlying case. Your next court date in this matter is going to be March 17th. That's at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's at Pima County Justice Court for a preliminary hearing. That date could change, so you want to keep in touch with your attorney. If you were to be released and fail to appear for future court dates, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yep, let's go.
All right, thank you. You're all done.
Right here?
Yep.
Good morning. Please state your name.
LWOP McDonald. McDonald.
That's what I heard. Oh, number 20. There he is. Okay. All right, Mr. Luth, you are here for your initial appearance on charges of possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. And I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you, sir. It looks like you would be eligible for a pre-indictment diversion program called STEPS. If you were interested in that program, I would set your case for a hearing. At that hearing, you would be able to talk to an attorney about the program, meet with service providers and pretrial services, and the court would determine whether you were eligible to participate in that program. Are you interested in that program, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. If you successfully completed, it is possible that the state would
My doctor yesterday was joining an outpatient program. So you think that would be eligible or sufficient?
I don't know the details, sir, but I think it's worth exploring. So I am going to set your case for a hearing to determine if you're eligible for that program. That hearing is going to be on March 13th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Let me see what this is. All right, and it looks like you also have a DUI out of Tucson City Court that you're here for.
Right.
So to start with on the drug cases, typically, well, sir, if I were to order that you be released on your promise to appear, will you appear for your future court dates?
Yes, I would. Well, sure.
And then
Good.
we do, to give time for you to be screened for your eligibility for the diversion program, we ask if you would be willing to waive time for your preliminary hearing. Usually that has to occur within 20 days, and the state has to bring an indictment within that time period. In order to allow time for the steps screening to go forward, would you be willing to waive that to 45 days?
Yes, just set up anything you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, be willing to do that. It will happen.
Oh, here, nope, that is not it. On the other side of this one. Okay. So your preliminary hearing will be April 21st. That'll be at 1:30.
Okay.
And it's possible that that hearing could go away, so you'll want to be in touch with your attorney about that.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I'll give you a chance to ask any questions once I'm finished, okay? All right. So for the drug cases, I am going to order that you're released on your promise to appear. You're going to have a steps hearing to see if you're eligible for that diversion program on March 13th at 9 a.m. And then you'll have a preliminary hearing scheduled for April 21st at 1:30. If you were to fail to appear for your future court hearings, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And I am ordering that I'm actually going to order that you're released to pretrial services, not on your promise to appear. Apologies for that. So you'll be ordered to submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services and to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And then looking at the Tucson City Court case, I am also going to order that, in that case, I am going to order that you are released on your promise to appear. Your next court date in that case is going to be April 7th. That's at 10 a.m. And that is before Judge Hale at Tucson City Court. You're ordered not to drive without a valid driver's license, not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And if you were to fail to appear for that court hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Very well. I do.
And do you have any questions remaining?
No, she have all the information right there. No, that's your information. Yes, she gave me this.
Great. Yeah, and you'll receive it. You'll receive paperwork as well.
Because otherwise we can get you enrolled if you're eligible for the diversion program.
Okay.
And it's a big deal for the felony. But you got to
March 13th.
okay, March 13th, Superior Court.
Right.
In 110 West Congress. No, I don't. That's not going to be fun to West West. And you give me your number.
213 984 984 284
94 84.
984 94.
All right, take it.
That it, Judge?
You're all set. Yes.
Thank you.
Erica?
Yes.
Interpreter's ready, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what? Would you be able to let her in over there? Thank you. I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that part. Good morning. Please state your name.
Buenos días, díganos su nombre, por favor.
Erika Kagopua.
Do you need an interpreter, ma'am? Necesita intérprete.
Pues en veces sí, en veces no.
Ok, vamos a proceder en español entonces.
Okay.
We will proceed in Spanish, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Ojeda Cocoa, this is the time set for your initial appearance on charges of aggravated DUI.
Señora Ojeda Cocoa, está usted detenida y es la comparecencia inicial bajo los cargos de conductora bajo la influencia.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene derecho a guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga podrá y será usada en contra suya.
You have the right to hire the attorney of your choice.
Tiene derecho a contratar al abogado que usted elija.
And I am appointing the legal defender's office to represent you.
Pero sí voy a asignar a la oficina del defensor legal para que se encargue de su defensa.
And there is counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing.
Y esta mañana tenemos presente a una abogada defensora a su lado para el propósito de la audiencia de hoy.
We're going to talk about your conditions of release on this is a charge out of Yavapai County.
Which county, Your Honor?
Yavapai. I think I forgot to say that at the beginning.
No, it was the natural. I'm sorry. Vamos a hablar de las condiciones de libertad provisional. Estos cargos se originan del condado Yavapai.
We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services, as well as the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $25,000.
Vamos a hablar de las condiciones de libertad provisional. He recibido información de la entrevista que se le hizo por el personal de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio. También tengo la recomendación del fiscal que recomienda fianza de $25. 25,000, perdón.
It's also my understanding that there's an immigration hold, so that if I were to order that you be released, or if you were to post bond and be released, you would not be released, but instead you would be transferred to ICE custody.
Y también tengo información que existe una orden de detención pendiente de migración, así es que aunque usted depositara fianza o fuera excarcelada, de hecho no sería excarcelada, sino pasaría a las autoridades y facultades del Departamento de Migración.
Would the state like to be heard further about the bond amount?
Your Honor, the state has an interest in seeing this crime prosecuted prior to ICE potentially repatriating this defendant. This is her third DUI. She's got 2 priors. She's got a well-documented history of failure to appear.
Señora juez, nosotros tenemos un interés considerable de que se resuelva este caso y que se enjuicie el caso. Casos previos de conductora ebria y también tiene historial de faltas de comparecencia. Así es que quisiéramos que se resuelva el caso formalmente aquí antes de que pase a manos de inmigración para que sea expulsada probablemente.
And would the defense like to be heard?
Yes, please, Your Honor. Given the ICE hold, I agree that a bond makes sense. However, I'm requesting that the court set much lower bond than the state is requesting. This defendant has 25 years in the community, verified housing and family. She has no family history, no felony history. And I do see the previous misdemeanor DUIs from 2014 and 2015. But at 44, I believe that a lower bond is appropriate here.
Señora juez, sí noto que la acusada tiene pendiente una orden de migración, la detención de migración, y pienso que la fianza sí es lo procedente. Lo que pedimos es una fianza más baja. Ella tiene 25 años residiendo en la comunidad, tiene vivienda verificada, no tiene antecedentes por delitos graves. Sí noto que tiene condenas por delitos menores de conductora ebria en 2014 y 2015. Y a la edad de 44 años pedimos que sea una fianza más baja, más razonable.
Thank you. I do believe a bond is appropriate. However, I do think a $5,000 bond will be sufficient to ensure your compliance and attendance at court dates. Ma'am, I am going to order a bond of $5,000 that will be cash or secured. If you are released, you'll be released to the custody of pretrial services. You'll be ordered not to drive without a valid license, not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs or firearms or weapons, and to submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed, and to arrange to appear for your court date in Yavapai County. If you remain in custody, I expect that you will be transferred to Yavapai County, and I am setting a review hearing for April 7th at 9 a.m. to see if that has happened. And if you were to post bond and be released, you would most likely be released to ICE custody. And if you were deported under that program, you probably would lose your bond. Do you understand?
Bueno, señora, se lo interpreto, señora.
Sí, por favor.
Bueno, la juez dice que pienso que una fianza es lo procedente. Le voy a poner fianza de $5,000. Pienso que es lo suficiente para asegurar su cumplimiento con el caso y comparecencias en las audiencias. Va a ser fianza de $5,000, ya sea en efectivo o garantizado por propiedad. Y ahora, si logra salir, será supervisada por la Agencia de Servicios Provisionales. No podrá conducir automóvil sin licencia vigente y tendría que cumplir usted con el nivel de programa de supervisión, monitoreo y tratamiento que le recomienden. Y este caso origina del condado de Yavapai, entonces lo probable es que la trasladen allá. Ahora, si usted logra depositar la fianza, lo más probable es que pase usted a manos de migración y perdería la fianza de hecho. ¿Entiende lo que le digo?
O sea que aunque pague la fianza, me va a llevar a migración, dice.
So you're saying that even if I pay the bond, immigration will take custody of me? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Correcto.
Is my advice until you talk to the attorney, okay? So you don't have to post the movie unless ICE will take it. This way you can talk to an attorney and discuss everything with an attorney. And no pay this when goes the ICE.
Le recomienda que no pague ninguna fianza, sino que se le dé tiempo para que vaya un abogado a hablar con usted a la cárcel, que se le designe aquí en el tribunal para que le informe cómo proceder. Así es que no le recomienda que deposite la fianza.
Pero, o sea que, pero tengo que estar todavía en cárcel por tiempo.
So then I'll still be held in custody for a while then?
At least until your next court date.
Sí, por lo menos a la próxima audiencia.
But you have an attorney, then they'll talk to you. In a couple of days, they'll visit you, discuss everything, and you'll get a Spanish-speaking attorney, okay? So you have Spanish.
Ya se le asignó un abogado de oficio que habla español. En unos cuantos días van y hablan con usted. Lo mejor es esperar a que se haga eso. Okay.
Y acabo de tener una cirugía y tengo cita con el doctor el 18. No va a haber posibilidad de que vaya a la cita.
So I just had a recent surgery, and I do have a follow-up appointment with my doctor on the 18th. Would it be possible for me to make that appointment?
Your Honor, the state has NAF care. They should be able to meet any of her medical needs.
El fiscal responde que la cárcel tiene, o la fiscalía tiene a su disponibilidad el programa NAF Care. Ellos deben de hacer lo necesario para cumplir con lo que necesite usted en lo médico.
Pero necesito ir al doctor para que me cierren el caso para una aseguranza que me dieron en el trabajo.
But I need to see that doctor so that the doctor can close out the case for some insurance coverage that's provided by my employer.
I don't think that's something that I can arrange at this time, ma'am, but you can talk to your attorney and see if there's anything they can do, okay?
No es algo que pueda aclarar o resolver en esta audiencia, pero sí hable con su abogado después.
Okay, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
Es todo por hoy. Puede retirarse. Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
And Your Honor, with the interpreter be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Gabriel Altamirano.
Mr. Altamirano, this is the time set for your initial appearance on several matters. It looks like you have new charges, new felony charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a narcotic drug. You also have cases that are in failure to appear status out of Marana. And I believe there's one more justice court case for criminal damage. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. Today, I am appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Sir, we're going to talk about your conditions of release in a moment, but it does look like you are potentially eligible for a pre-indictment diversion program on the new felony charges. That is a program in which you would participate in substance abuse treatment. If you are successfully to complete that program, it's possible that the state would not go forward with these felony charges. Are you interested in that program?
Yes.
All right. So I will set a hearing for you. That will be March 13th at 9 a.m. At that hearing, they will determine your eligibility for the program. You'll also have the opportunity to speak with an attorney, service providers, and pretrial services about the program further. Then turning to your conditions of release, the state has recommended that you be released to pretrial services and on these new felony charges. If I were to order, sir, that you be released to pretrial services, would you appear for your court hearings?
Yes, I will.
And is there anything else that either the state or the defense would like to say?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so I will order that you be released to pretrial services in this case. Your hearing for the diversion program will be on March 13th, and then you will have a preliminary hearing in that case. Usually the state is required to have the indictment and set a preliminary hearing within 20 days in order to give time for you to be assessed and begin the diversion program if appropriate. We usually ask that you waive that and give them 45 days. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay.
So
then your preliminary hearing date will be set on April 21st. That's at 1:30. If the state does not proceed with an indictment, that hearing won't happen. So it'll be important to keep in touch with your attorney so you know when you need to go to court. If you fail to appear for any court dates, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And if you do not appear at your steps hearing, I believe you'll lose your chance at that program. Do you understand?
yes, I understand.
Additional orders while you're on release in that case are no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, you cannot possess any weapons or firearms. All right, and then we're going to look at the Justice Court case. Sorry, let me.
I promise I'll go to all court dates. Just, I know it's been a while, but I'm gonna go.
Let me see here. So it does look like I'm looking at the criminal trespass right now, which is from 2022. And so based on the length of time that case has been going on, sir, I am a little bit concerned about whether you would appear for your court date. Your court date in that case, if you were released, would be March 27th at 11 a.m. Do you believe that you'll be able to make it to that court date?
I will, man. I will for sure. I want that case to be over with already. I will go.
All right, so I am going to give you one more chance in that case. And if you fail to appear, a warrant is very likely to issue for your arrest on that date, given the previous failures to appear. And then we have finally the cases out of Marana City Court. Those are from 2024. And your next court date on those is going to be April 30th. That's at 10 a.m. Your additional conditions of release in that case, or in those cases, are that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you have no contact with the alleged victim in the shoplifting case and do not return to the incident location. And if you fail to appear in that case, it is very likely that a warrant will issue for your arrest as well. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right. You are excused. Good luck.
Your information, yes, you're being released and everything, however.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Angel Melissa Floyd.
Ms. Floyd, this is the time set for your initial appearance on charges of possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of a dangerous drug for sale, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire the attorney of your choice. I am appointing the legal advocate's office to represent you, and there's counsel seated with you for the purposes of today's hearing. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and in considering those, I have reviewed the information on the interim complaint. I have also reviewed information provided by pretrial services, and I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $50,000, and if that bond is posted, that you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like
I have a job. I have to be there at 3. I have a house. I have everything. Okay.
Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, state is asking for the $50,000 bond because this person has a very extensive history of violent crime. as well as an escape charge from 2023. As far as looks like ag robbery, armed robbery, that was an ag assault that was pled down somehow to Berg 3. She failed to appear on multiple cases, and she has prior, it looks like she has prior federal charge convictions for importing fentanyl. And she's still on federal supervision, it would appear, although I can't be entirely sure if it's federal or a different local jurisdiction. The search pursuant to a traffic stop and a later sniffer dog alert yielded almost 20 grams of meth, almost 30 grams of M30s, a scale, a meth pipe, and cash. That's dealer weight and indicia any day of the week, Your Honor. She has a violent past, and the state's asking for $50,000.
Thank you. And defense, would you like to be heard?
Your Honor, I do not see the violent past. The state may be in possession of information that I don't have in front of me, but I'm asking that to the extent the court is considering the 2020 case, that the consideration should be for what the conviction was for, not what the charges were for. And it was a burglary in a 3rd degree, where it appears that she completed probation for a year and a half. That said, I do not see other indication of any violent history. Miss Floyd is 28. She's a lifelong resident of Arizona. I do see the interim complaint listing the amounts of drugs that were found, but I'm asking the court consider her resident status as well as the fact that she's a full-time student and has employment in the community as well as verified available housing.
Based on those factors, I am probably not going to order a bond of $50,000, but I probably am going to order a bond specifically. The most concerning thing would be the conviction for escape. But looking at the total picture, I probably am going to order a bond. Do you have an alternative recommendation?
Your Honor, I'm asking for a bond of $5,000.
State would be with 25,000.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, I am going to order that you be held on a bond of $20,000. That'll be cash or secured. If you're released, you'll be released to pretrial services. I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you possess no firearms, that you submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's at 1:30. That's for a preliminary hearing at Pima County Justice Court. You'll want to stay in touch with your attorney as that hearing date may change. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. What if I don't have the bond? I'm staying in jail?
Yes.
I have to be at work today at 3. I'm going to lose my job.
You can also talk to your attorney about filing a motion to modify conditions.
Judge, I missed the attorney agency. Is it public defender?
Legal advocate.
Legal advocate. Thank you so much. So you have an attorney. You can talk to them right away. If they can file a motion, there's no way she's going to be able to. But with a motion, okay, those.
Where's the phone number for them?
The jail.
Please state.
Jose Maria Galaz Ramirez.
Mr. Galaz, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of weapons misconduct, money laundering, and possession of narcotics for sale. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you at this point in time. You do have counsel seated next to you for the purpose of today's hearing. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services. I have reviewed the interim complaint. And I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $75,000 and released to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, he's got an ICE hold, which implies he's not a legal resident, which one can reasonably infer he's not a legal resident of the United States, which means he shouldn't be possessing firearms to begin with. Post-stop and pursuant to defendant's post-Miranda statements, as well as the subsequent warrant, the police located and seized almost 102 grams of cocaine, 3,000 in small cash, in small bills, 3,000 in cash in small denominations, and 2 weapons. This is dealer weight, as well as a person who should not be possessing weapons, and there's all sorts of other indicia of dealing. The ICE hold makes him a flight risk, $75,000.
Thank you, and I had covered up my sheet, but I do show that there is an immigration hold on you, sir, so even if you were released, you would not be released into the community, but you would be released to the custody of ICE. Would the defense like to be heard?
Your Honor, given the ICE hold, I do agree that a bond makes sense. I disagree that the defendant is a flight risk. He has 6 years in the community and appears to have family here. I'm asking that the court consider that, as well as the verified housing and employment. In addition, at 41, he has no felony history. I'm asking for a much lower bond.
All right, so I am going to order that you be held on a bond of $50,000 cash or secured. If you post that bond, you'll be released to pretrial services. Well, if the ICE hold went away, you would be released to pretrial services. If you post that bond at this point in time, you would most likely be released into ICE custody, and that would probably lead to failures to appear that were considered voluntary, and you would likely lose your bond. That would likely be forfeited. If that were to go away and you were released, you would be released to pretrial services. You would be ordered to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, to possess no firearms or weapons. If there are any firearms in your possession, you must surrender them to local law enforcement. And your next court date is going to be March 17th. That is at 1:30. For a preliminary hearing. It is possible that that court date will change, so you'll want to keep in touch with your attorney. And if you were to be released and fail to appear for future court dates, a warrant would issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Sí.
Thank you. You're excused for today.
Speaking, do you need a translator? Do you understand everything?
Yeah, I understand. That's the lowest I could get the bond for.
Yeah, that's the bond, but do not post it because you'll just be sent to ICE. ICE has from you. Do not post it until you talk to an attorney and discuss everything. Okay?
So I have to stay
Stay.
in the process. So if I pay the bond, I don't have to go to process. I'll just get the court.
I don't know, sir, but that's why I want you to talk to an attorney. I don't know how valid this is or if they can help you with, but talk to an attorney. Okay, they will come and see you in a couple of days, so you can ask all the questions you got. Okay?
Thank you.
Take care.
Yayo?
Good morning. Please state your name.
Filiberto Grijalva.
Mr.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your Honor, I would like to just say if you can he's taking, if you can, the courts can take into consideration that my mother passed away on Sunday, and me being the power of attorney, it was up to me and my sister to make a funeral, wake arrangements, and burial arrangements, and I landed in this position, and I just would like to attend that, and I promise to attend any court date that you give me, but I just want to start by saying that that's what's going on my plate right now, is the loss of my mother.
I am very sorry. I am very sorry for your loss, sir. Let me tell you that you have the right to remain. Well, actually, I didn't say what you're here for yet. You're here for your initial appearance on charges of shoplifting, felony charges of shoplifting and promoting prison contraband, and also you have charges of theft that were misdemeanor charges from 2024 out of Tucson City Court, which a warrant had been issued for your arrest. I am not going to hold you on the promoting prison contraband charge. There wasn't enough information in the officer statement for me to find probable cause on that one. So I won't be holding you on that one, but we are going to discuss your conditions of release on the other charges. Sir, let me get this up here. You do have the right to hire the attorney of your choice. I am appointing the legal advocate's office to represent you, and there's counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
On the So I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services about you, and I have reviewed the interim complaint, and I have reviewed the state's recommendation, and the state is recommending that you be held on a bond of $35,000, and then if you post that bond, that you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, he's a 6 out of 6, twice over. He's an NVCA, yes. He's on felony probation. We're looking at, he has quite a few other convictions in the statutory look-back period. He's on a roll, Your Honor. This needs to be stopped. $35,000.
Thank you. And defense.
Your Honor, I appreciate the court making the finding about the prison contraband. I don't need to address that, but I did have some notes on that. On the shoplifting, I'd like to point out that the offense date is from December of last year. The jail has informed me that he has a probation hold right now, and my request is that the court allow the probation court to do the main consideration here, given that he is currently on probation for a shoplifting case. I do note the number of priors. Most of them seem drug related. 3 are straight out drug possession. It appears quite clearly that there's a substance use issue here. So I'm asking that the court consider, given the nature of the offense, that the court consider a low bond of $1,000 and then allow the probation judge to see what might be appropriate in terms of addressing the probation conditions at this point, the fact of the new charges, and possible remedy for addressing the substance use problem.
Thank you.
Missions holding right now, but you will be seen in 2 or 3 work days. You will be seen by a patient judge to figure out that underlying case. This judge is just setting up all the new charges, which is a short-lived case from December. So even if she gives you a life on to the end, you can't go down to convictions on the day of it. So don't lose it.
Great, sir. So I'm going to order in the felony shoplifting charge, I'm going to order a bond of $10,000. That'll be cash or secured. If you were to post that bond and be released because your probation hold was no longer holding you, the additional orders would be that you submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, that you possess or consume that you possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the alleged victim, and do not return to the incident location. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. If you were to be released and fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And then on the Tucson City Court case,
Measure secure. You can bond out for 1,000, but you're not going to be released. Okay, so talk to your attorney. You have another hearing soon, just on the probation case. You're getting this. You talk to an attorney soon, okay?
in the city court case, if your felony judge were to decide to have you be released to treatment or otherwise, I would not want the misdemeanor to hold you up. So I am going to order that you're released in that case. And in that case, the additional orders that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim and do not return to the incident location. Your next court date for that case is going to be April 18th, 2025 at 9 a.m. If you do happen to remain in custody, the jail will make you available at that hearing over video. And if you are released, it will be your responsibility to appear at that hearing. And if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're excused for today. I am sorry about your mother.
That's your information.
Yes, I'm trying to call you. Answer the phone, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Daniel Thomas Hill.
Mr. Hill, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here on a new felony charge of aggravated assault, domestic violence. And then you have some charges out of Tucson City Court, including threats or intimidation and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia and criminal damage to property. Those are at least some of those are domestic violence offenses. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. And in this new felony charge, I am appointing, I don't know if I accidentally deleted it, but it's not in here. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. And you do also have counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing. I have reviewed the interim complaint. I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services. And I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $25,000. And if you post a bond, that you be released to pretrial services. And it looks like Mr. Poston may have a new recommendation.
Your Honor, after further review, the state feels it's more appropriate to recommend $50,000.
Okay, so the state is recommending $50,000 bond. And would you like to say anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor. State submits.
All right, and the defense?
Your Honor, I'm asking that the court consider that Mr. Hill is 43 years old. He has no prior felony convictions. He has 12 years in the community. He has verified residence. The offense is concerning in that it is domestic violence, but it does involve a verbal threat and physical threat, but no injuries and no actual physical contact. I am asking that the court consider a much lower bond than the state has requested. And I would request release to pretrial services, except I also see that there is a pending misdemeanor domestic violence offense, which I know the court will take into account.
Thank you. Hey, sir, I am going to order that you be held on a bond of $50,000 in the, sorry, not $50,000, of $10,000 on the new felony charge. If you are able to post that bond, you'll be released to pretrial services. Additional orders will be that you submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, that you commit no acts of domestic violence, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact at all with the alleged victim, and that starts today. So you may not have contact with her from in custody either, no messages, no phone calls. Do not go to her residence or her workplace. Do you understand those conditions, sir?
Yes.
All right, your next court date in the new felony matter is going to be March 17th. That's at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. That court date could change, so you will want to stay in touch with your attorney. If you fail to appear for that court date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And then, oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. I forgot to ask Miss Williams what she wanted to let me know. I am so sorry, Miss Williams. It's my understanding that you are on the line. You may need to hit *6 to unmute yourself and let me know what you would like me to know. Thank you. Miss Williams, I can't hear you yet. It may be that you need to press *6. Ms. Williams, I'm still unable to hear you. I do want to give you the opportunity to be heard. I know you've been waiting a long time this morning.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, were you addressing me?
I was addressing Miss Williams.
Oh, I apologize.
Amber Williams. If you're on the line, Miss Williams, this is your opportunity to be heard. All right. For the record, I will note that Ms. Williams had called in and she had been on the line waiting this morning and indicated that she would like to be heard. It appears that she is not able to unmute herself and speak now. All right. So going to the Tucson City Court cases, sir. I am going to appoint the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you on those cases. Your next court date is going to be in front of Judge Million. That's going to be March 17th at 1:30. And in those cases, I am going to order that you be held on a bond of $500 cash or secured, that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, do not return to the incident location, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and commit no acts of domestic violence. And if you fail to appear for your court date in that matter, a warrant can be issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You are excused for today.
Your Honor, I noticed that that's the same date and time as the preliminary hearing in the felony. Is that an issue at all?
The jail should be able to work that out, but did you want me to change the date? No. Peralta? Yeah. I think the jail will be able to make him available for both because they're both video reviews, so he could do one early and the other one towards the end of the...
That's if he remains in custody, Your Honor. But if he's out, I'm concerned that he would be confused as to where to go. But I will let him know to talk to his attorney about that.
Absolutely. If he is released, then his attorney can file a motion to continue in one of the cases.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay.
So
This is plenty of trouble. Okay. Okay. You don't get released, no, you're held unlocked. You get released if it falls below right now. Or until this gets revisited. Talk to your attorney, they can follow.
Oh, no, I'm not holding him on this.
Oh, Judge, they can file a motion for this to be revisited. Let's find out if she's going to be.
It's actually going to be March 19th. The clerk just informed me that the sheet with the dates was incorrect. So the Tucson City Court date is going to be March 19th, not March 7th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's made up her mind. Just
Good.
Please state your name.
Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins, this is the time for your initial appearance. You have been charged with possession of narcotic drugs, possession of narcotic drug for sale, and transportation of narcotic drug for sale. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. I am appointing the legal defender's office to represent you, and there is an attorney seated with you for the purposes of today's hearing. I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services about you. I have also reviewed the interim complaint, and I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $7,500 and pretrial services if released. Would the state like to be heard further?
State submit the written record.
And would the defense like to be heard?
Yes, please, Your Honor. I'm asking that the court consider release to pretrial services. Mr. Jenkins has 15 years in the community. He's 30 years old. He has full-time employment. A felony case from 2015. In that case, it looks like he completed probation successfully for 4 years and earned a misdemeanor. I believe that makes him extremely good candidate for release to supervision. In addition, the sales case, at least for the interim complaint, seems to involve 39 pills, which is really not a significant number as far as sales goes.
All right. I am going to order a bond of $1,500 cash or secured. You'll be released to pretrial services if that bond is posted. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. No firearms or weapons. And your next court date is going to be March 17th at 1:30. That's for a preliminary hearing. It's possible that that date will change. If you fail to appear after being released, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes.
Thank you. You're excused.
What if I have money in my property?
I'm sorry. Awesome.
Please state your name.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here this morning on charges of theft of means of transportation, possession of a dangerous drug, burglary, and possession of drug paraphernalia. These charges are from August of 2024. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. It is ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing. In considering your conditions of release, I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services. And I have also viewed a recommendation from the state that you be held on a bond of $2,500. Sir, did you know about your previous court dates?
No, there was some mishap with communication. It wasn't willful disobedience in this at all. I had been discussing the timeframes with pretrial service prior to making my calls in, and there was one continuation, and then there was a second continuation. By the time the second continuation had come around, my public defender hadn't contacted me at all. And then when he did, it was past the point, and he said, "I'll file for a third one. Chances are you're going to have a warrant because of this." I said, "Well, I wasn't standing that understood. That's not made it to the second one state." He said, "Well, it was rolled back." And he was.
That's enough. Thank you. Would the state like to be heard any further on its recommendation?
No, Your Honor.
And would the defense like to be heard?
Judge, I did notice that the arraignment was continued quite a few times, which does very much lend credence to the information that he was in touch with pretrial services. In my experience, it wouldn't be continued generally more than twice. If that was not the case, it looks like he was in touch with them up until November of last year. I am asking that the court consider a release to the enhanced supervision of pretrial services here. They did flag a need for substance use evaluation and possible treatment. I do believe that he would comply.
Great, sir. Since you are indicating that you were previously compliant with pretrial services, I am inclined to at least lower the recommended bond amount, because although you were in contact, you didn't appear in court, and they should have been able to tell you your court date and remind you of it if you were in contact with them. So I am going to order a bond of $500. That'll be cash or secured. Your next court date is going to be March 14th. That's at 1:30. Additional conditions of release are that you submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the alleged victims, and do not return to the incident location. If you were to fail to appear for court, a warrant would likely issue for your arrest, just like it did this time. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Yes.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Aaron Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, this is the time for your initial appearance on possession of a narcotic. This is a felony offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. I have appointed the public defender to represent you. And I see that it appears that you also have an immigration hold. And so if you were released today, you would be released to the custody of ICE rather than released into the community. I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services, as well as information from the interim complaint and from the state regarding its recommendation. Would any counsel like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm requesting a very, very low bond. He would likely have been released, but for the ICE hold for this type of charge. And I'm also asking that the court set a steps hearing.
Yes, it does appear that you would be eligible for the STEPS program, sir, or at least there's some likely eligibilities. So I am going to set a hearing for the STEPS program on March 13th at 9 a.m. At that hearing, they'll be able to determine if you are eligible for the program. It's a pre-indictment diversion program. If you were to successfully complete it, it's possible the state would not go forward with these charges. I will order that you be held on a bond of $50, cash or secured, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. And you will
Sorry.
also, just a moment, sir. You will also have a preliminary hearing set on March 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And if you were released before then and failed to appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. If I pay the bond, I'm going to go with ICE, you say?
Yes.
It's ICE is going to, so don't post the bond until you're not charged, okay? The attorney's going to figure things out.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, thank you. You're excused for today.
Here's your thing.
Do I got to text this thing?
Yes, this is your attorney's office. You can call me, but you generally visit with them 2 to 3 days, okay? But I advise you not to tell them. That would happen if it was to be misdone.
Like, I got to call somebody so they can pay me the $50.
Don't post it. Don't post it. Don't post it. Keep the bond on legs. Stay in here.
Well,
Stay in here.
I can be here.
Yeah. Well, we not.
Please state your name.
Anthony Molina.
Mr. Molina, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on a handful of charges here. There's one felony charge, unlawful flight from law enforcement, and then several misdemeanor charges, including weapons misconduct, driving under the influence, driving after drinking while under the age of 21, and drinking while underage. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. I am appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent you. We are going to talk about your conditions of release, and in considering them, I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services about you. I have reviewed the interim complaint, and I have also reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $25,000 and that if you are released, you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like to be heard further?
State submits on the written record.
Thank you. And would the defense like to be heard?
Yes, please, Judge. I would like to request that the court consider releasing Mr. Molina to the enhanced supervision of pretrial services. He's 19, he's a lifelong Tucson resident, has full-time employment. He has no felony or juvenile history, which tells me that this is really his first brush up with the criminal justice system. And it is a serious offense. However, there's no indication that he would fail to appear or comply with conditions of release. I am sure this has made a huge impact on him at this point in his life.
Thank you. If I were inclined to enter some amount of a bond, is there an amount that he could post?
Your Honor, state would be comfortable at 15, no less.
Your Honor, he indicates that his family would be able to post 1,000.
Okay. I'm going to order a bond of $10,000 cash or secured. I am going to order that you be released to pretrial services if you are able to have that bond posted. You will be ordered to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. Do not drive without a valid license. Your next court date is going to be on March 17th. That's at 1:30. If you were to fail to appear for that or any future court dates, it is likely that a warrant would issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand your conditions of release should you be able to post the bond?
Yes. I believe so. So that means I have to pay the 10,000 to get out.
Your family can pay over $1,000 to get your well, taking up the 10, so they have space. But they would lose the money over this. So the other 10,000 are if you live on the right, so all the criminal things and take it in touch. It would be a training on exposed to the same.
So after leaving this room, do I call my parents or something?
Yes.
Mr. Molina, I want to make sure you understand that there are additional conditions. If your family does help you post that bond, that you check in with pretrial services, submit to any monitoring or treatment they direct, that you possess or consume no alcohol and no illegal drugs, that you do not drive without a valid driver's license, that you possess no firearms or weapons. If you violate any of those, that bond can be forfeited, which means your family can lose that money.
Okay.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Good morning. Please state your name. Mr. Ramirez, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of aggravated driving under the influence and driving the wrong way. Excuse me. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire the attorney of your choice. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you.
Yeah.
And you do have counsel seated next to you for the purposes of today's hearing. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and I have considered information provided by pretrial services. I have, excuse me. I've also reviewed information contained in the interim complaint. And I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $7,500 and pretrial services if released. Would the state like to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. This person has apparently zero ties to the local community. Incredible flight risk. Pennsylvania tag car, Texas driver's license. It's a miracle that him driving the wrong way on Ajo Highway, a very high speed roadway, didn't hurt or kill anybody. State believes he's a flight risk. The state has every reason to believe that he will flee if given the opportunity. 7,500.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, I am requesting that the court take into account the fact that Mr. Ramirez has no prior felony or misdemeanor history. He has full-time employment. He has verified housing and family in the community. And I am not entirely sure why the state believes he's a flight risk. I do not see any indication that would suggest that that may be the case. I do not see failures to appear. Again, given the lack of any criminal history, I'm requesting the court release him to pretrial services.
Your Honor, the pretrial PTS's website states that he's been in Tucson for all of a month and has been living in Texas. Looking at the IC, he has a car tagged in Pennsylvania and a driver's license from Texas. I'm not sure where this local address is coming from other than the defendant trying to influence the process, but we have no reason to believe he is local. We have no reason to believe he's not going to go back to Texas or Pennsylvania. That was the information in the interim complaint.
Thank you. Counsel, for the defense, you did refer to family in Tucson. Who were you referring to? What relatives?
Judge, I may be misspoke. It's the wife that verified the information, including that he has available housing here in Arizona, but it does appear that she actually resides in Texas. So I apologize to the extent that I misled the court.
Thank you. It was easy to misunderstand what was written in here. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding it correctly. Sir, I am going to order a bond of $2,500. That'll be cash or secured. You'll be released to pretrial services if posted. Do not drive without a valid license. No alcohol or illegal drugs. No firearms or weapons. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's going to be at 1:30.
Is there any way to drop that maybe? Because I have to get it full.
I'll talk to her after she's done.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was the amount?
Excuse me. The amount is $2,500. Sir, if you do post your bond and you are released, and then you fail to appear for court, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a question?
I was wondering, like, is this 2,500? I've never been in this situation.
I can address
Yeah.
that, Judge.
I can talk to her. You know.
Thank you. All right, you may have a moment.
Many years.
Your Honor, which defense office is appointed? I'm sorry.
Public defender.
I failed. Thank you so much.
It's your attorney. Okay. And questions.
Grace.
Please state your name.
Jacob Michael Styles Bolden.
Mr. Styles Bolden, this is the time for your initial appearance on charges of theft of a credit card. That is a felony charge. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to fire the attorney of your choice. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services. I have also reviewed the interim complaint. And then I have reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $5,000, and if you post that bond, that you be released to pretrial services. Would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, the state would like to highlight this defendant's very quite extensive history of fraud and theft and financial crimes. And these sorts of fraud type crimes have an incredibly underestimated impact on the victims. And was his other histories of just straight up theft. He's got a history of failures to appear. He's got a history of probation violations, making him a flight risk. 5,000.
And defense?
Your Honor, I do see the lengthy history. Three of the prior felonies are drug possession. It very much appears that the other ones are also offenses that are motivated by substance use, a problem. I'm asking that the court also consider that the only other felony convictions are also property related and again related to a substance use problem. Mr. Styles Bolden is a lifelong resident of Tucson and does appear currently to have employment. So I'm asking that the court consider a low bond.
All right, sir. I am concerned about the history of theft, the fact that you have previously spent time, it looks like, in prison for theft of a credit card, theft or forgery of a credit card, and absconded from parole in that case as well. So I am going to order a bond of $3,000 that will be cash or secured. If you do post that bond, you'll be released to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no monitoring or treatment. Sorry, excuse me, submit to monitoring or treatment as requested by pretrial services, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victims, do not return to the incident location. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That is going to be at 1:30. And that is for a preliminary hearing. That court date could change, so you'll want to stay in touch with your attorney. If you are released and fail to appear for that court date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. You're excused.
So how do I use the money off my books and my account to pay for this?
That's the chill.
Okay, guys, I have like 500 in my account, so I'm not saying I got to cover that.
Okay.
Please state your name.
Vendor Renee Valdez.
Valdez, you are here for your initial appearance on charges of possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and it looks like we also have driving on a suspended license that was in failure to appear warrant status from 2018.
Through Pasqua, right?
Excuse me?
Was that through Pasqua, or could you confirm or just verify that?
It's in Justice. Pima County Justice Court.
Oh, okay.
It looks like you would be potentially eligible for the STEPS diversion program, which is a pre-indictment program. If you successfully complete that program, it is possible that the state would not go forward with the felony charges. Are you interested in being screened for that program?
Yes, Your Honor, please. Yes.
Your Honor, on Ms. Valdez. This is Ms. Valdez, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Missing both charges on the basis that they're de minimis.
Oh, I missed that. All right, Ms. Valdez, it looks like the state is dismissing the new felony drug charges. So you're not going to have to deal with those after all. So I am ordering that those cases are dismissed without prejudice. And then we just have the the Justice Court case is actually also possession of drug paraphernalia, not the driving on a suspended license. Or at least if it is, it's not listed here. Oh, the CR 25003002 was also dismissed. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Sorry, nope. That is not actually you. Okay, yep, your cases are dismissed and you will be released today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hearing come up in the same case. Okay. Not missed that. Okay. Okay.
Garcia. Okay. And you have a court date before that, so on the 17th, I believe.
The one thing is this, but we talked your attorney. It's like you're supposed to give the doctor attorney about whether there's something that that's
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Good morning, ma'am. Jose Alfonso Vasquez.
Mr. Vasquez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. It looks like we have an out-of-county warrant from Santa Cruz County. And then
Yes, ma'am.
have a number of cases from Tucson City Court.
May I speak, ma'am?
All right. So let me tell you first, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have, on the out-of-county warrant, I think there was, where is it? All right, so on the out-of-county warrant, I would need to set a bond, and then I would set a review hearing in approximately 30 days to see if you were still here dealing with local matters or if you had been released to the other county. And then we would need to talk about conditions of release and your next court dates for the Tucson City Court charges of theft, assault, and contributing to the delinquency or dependency of a minor. And then, sir, having been advised of your right to remain silent, is there still something you want me to know?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So just I was actually taking care of the one out of Santa Cruz and the city here. It was just during me getting my leg, my prosthetic and everything and walking, I couldn't make it out to the court. Actually, I tried turning myself over there and they told me to negotiate a better terms. I actually tried turning myself in. And they told me to negotiate due to it's because I have certain problems with my leg and certain problems with my health that they weren't wanting to take me. So it was kind of surprising last night when they accepted the warrant to come out here and do all that because my lawyer had called and because I had tried to hire a lawyer to call everything. They told me that to be able to just fix it and get back on parole or probation, whatever else, because they were really not going to accept. Every time that we can see, ma'am, in the history, every time that they take me back over there to Nogales, Arizona, they actually release me the next day because they don't want to take me in their jail. I get released the following day you guys send me from here. It's just something I'm letting you know, ma'am.
Okay, and that charge out of Santa Cruz County is for possession of drug paraphernalia?
Yes, ma'am. And when all that was going on, I was using my legs. So when the courts and everything was going on, that's why the court over there wasn't really giving me that much attention, to be honest, because my lawyer at the time was keeping him updated about me having 17 operations on my leg, me getting my wounds open again, me going back and forth to the hospital. I mean, I have a lot of issues with my leg. I have an issue right now where it's leaking and stuff like that. My hand has been inflamed with where I was at TMC for almost 3 weeks. They didn't know what was coming out of. There's just certain situations where I have health problems. I'm just giving you a heads up of what's going on.
Okay, so sir, basically my options here are to order that you be released on your promise to deal with your court date in Santa Cruz County.
That's exactly what I've been trying to interrupt. That's exactly what I've been trying to set up. I actually have a lawyer that I went and sat down with. I have my girlfriend has his card where I told him, and he's like, you know what, bro, we just have to get a prosecutor in the Nogales, Arizona hallways that talks to somebody. They're not going to take you. They don't want you because of your leg. They really don't. If you see your record, they release you right away. When Tucson sends you, they release you.
But
they're practically.
I want to finish telling you that if I do that, it's not going to do anything to that warrant. That warrant will still be out there, and you'll just get picked up on it again. And if you're in Pima County, it'll be Pima County where you're spending the night in jail. So do you understand the situation you're in here if you don't get that warrant quashed?
Well, yeah, I understand that we'll be back in the same process, and I don't want to be back in the same process, so I'll go down there actually tomorrow and just squash that again until I get an answer, to be honest. Not to just go home. I need to get an answer from them.
Alternatively, I can hold you and order that they come get you within 24 hours. And if they don't come get you within 24 hours, then you'll be released. And if they come get you and you're heard by their court, then you won't have that warrant hanging over your head anymore.
It's up to you, ma'am. I take the best of what you want to do. Like I told you, with all honesty, I am fixing my warrants, and if I have to be there tomorrow morning with them, I will be there with my lawyer. I have my lawyer's card and my girlfriend's card where I've spoken to me, sat down with all this.
All right. So I'm going to give you the chance to deal with it yourself. I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Additional orders so that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you contact Santa Cruz County to get a court date there and take care of that case.
Okay. I have no problem with that. I appreciate you for listening to me and taking the time, man. And sorry for interrupting.
So then I'm going to set, well, I don't think I need to set anything in that case. I am just going to say to contact them, and then release is the one I choose from the drop-down menu. But if I see you back here on this same warrant, I will hold you that time, okay?
You won't see me on this warrant. I'm done with Nogales Center. I'm done with them. I've been done with them, man. Not to be annoying and everything. I've been freaking done with them. And sorry my language. I've been trying to negotiate with them so bad since 2022.
Okay. So on your Tucson City Court case, I am in that case, well, sir, I should have looked this over more closely because I see that these have been going on since 2019. So I am going to order that you be held on these charges. And so it doesn't necessarily make, I'm still going to leave that other one as it is. Maybe you'll be able to arrange with your attorney to deal with that one while you're being held on this one. Your next court date, sorry, I removed the end date because I removed it. All right, so your next court date for the Tucson City Court cases is going to be March 19th at 1:30. I am going to order a bond of $1,500, that'll be cash or secured, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you commit no acts of domestic violence and have no contact with the victims, do not return to the victim's residence.
See that the victim is locked up here, frustrated because of domestic violence. I don't know.
You can know.
Ma'am, excuse me, the victim of the case that you're talking about, she's actually incarcerated at 29 right here at county due to an assault and something she did on me. And my lawyer has been trying to fix the Tucson City one from here too. And the victim is actually locked up here in county. And my kids, they're actually in possession of my mother-in-law. That's a
So my orders are coming as I stated them, sir, and just what the record shows me is that in at least in one of these cases, your attorney moved to withdraw due to you being uncooperative with them. So I am appointing the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you in these cases. And if you were to post your bond and be released and then fail to appear for court, a warrant would issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, your court date is going to be that March 19th date at 1:30 for a video review. And if you are released, your court date will be April 14th at 2 p.m. That's for a pretrial conference. Do you understand?
So I can pay my bond and be released, and I don't have to stay for the Nogales one, or do I still have to stay if I pay my bond?
No, I ordered that you're released for the Nogales one. I'm going to leave that order in place.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please state your name.
Whitley Willems.
And Your Honor, this is Michelle Behan. I've been retained by Ms. Willems' parents, and so I'm appearing here for her.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. All right. Ms. Willems, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here on charges of transportation and or sale of narcotic drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of narcotic drug for sale. And you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and it looks like you have hired Ms. Ban to represent you, and she is here with you for this hearing. If you were unable to maintain private counsel, a public defender would be appointed on your behalf. We're going to talk about your conditions of release, and I have reviewed information provided by pretrial services. And then I have also reviewed the interim complaint, as well as the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $5,000 and released to pretrial services if you post that bond. Would the state like to be heard any further?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the other half of a different case that came in earlier. Pursuant to a buy and bust, this person was observed exchanging money and narcotics with one of the undercover officers. $100 for apparently 22 M30s, therefore possession sale. Good morning, Michelle.
Are you ready for me?
Were you finished, Mr. Poston?
Yes, that the state submits, and I said good morning, Michelle, and apparently she didn't hear.
Hi, Neil.
Thank you, and defense, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I'm going to ask that you release Ms. Willem to pretrial services. She has been a resident of Tucson for more than 20 years. She has full-time employment. Her parents are professionals with significant ties to the community. They're here in my office. They're ready to pick her up and take her back home. She has verified residence with them. No criminal history of any kind, Your Honor. And so I'm asking that she be released to pretrial services with no bond.
All right, I am going to order releasing you to pretrial services. You will be required to submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You may not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You may not possess any firearms or weapons. You may not have any contact with your co-defendant, Mr. Jenkins. Your next court date is going to be March 17th. That's at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's for a preliminary hearing. It's possible that that court date could change, so you'll want to keep in good touch with your attorney. If you fail to appear for that or any future court date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused as well?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes. I did, but I gave I must have just did a bad job. Thank you. Oh, mine, you mean? Hers. You mean the one that, for her? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was just because I hadn't sent it over yet. All right. That's everything that I have. Does anyone have anything else?
No, thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.